Hello guys and welcome to the FPL Duo. Now on today's stream, we obviously have the deadline for Game Week 18. Now you're probably wondering obviously where Huss is for this deadline stream. For those who don't know, obviously Huss could not make this deadline stream due to work commitments, but he should be back obviously for the next stream that we have upcoming. But for today, you do have me as your host, Jordan, who's going to obviously talk you through the last hour upcoming deadline to Game Week 18. So without further ado, before we get into this, obviously the stream, make sure you give this video a like, leave a comment if you wish, and obviously subscribe if you're new to the channel as well. That would be very much appreciated from every one of you. But for those who already are, thank you. It is always appreciated, and we like your support. Now, without further ado, let's get into, obviously, I'll go through my team, which you can see on the screen, and we'll just see who, obviously, that I'm playing, because I am in a bit of a pickle again this Game Week 18, which has left me in a bit of a weird formation, let's say. But to start off with, we've got Leno in goal, got a back five. Now, this is, a back five. I didn't expect to obviously be playing a back five, not only in this game week, but entirely in this season altogether, because a back five going forward into this season hasn't really paid off. And yeah, I haven't really got a choice but to go for back five due to obviously Decore being out injured for his hamstrings. So I am forced to play obviously a back five. So we've got Simicas, Pedro Porro, Trippier, Branthwaite, and Taylor featuring in the back five of my defense. And obviously, because Pedro Porro and Branthwaite clash because they play against each other, it's unlikely there's going to be a clean sheet from there. So I'll be very surprised how many clean sheets. I'll be very curious as well how many clean sheets there are for my back five. But we move on to the midfield four. So we've got Salah, Matoma, Saka, and Hwang. So obviously, it's nice to see those who were suspended back into the team as well for this week. Obviously, the captaincy is on Salah at the moment. I'm not going to captain Salah for this game week. Obviously, I'll move on to my transfer plans going forward later on in the stream to tell you, obviously, what my plans are going forward. But yeah, Salah's currently got the captaincy over him, but he won't be my final captain pick going forward into, obviously, game week 18. And obviously, up front, we've got Haaland, but Man City are not playing this game week. They are a blank, along with Brentford as well this week. So Haaland's not going to feature. Due to, well, obviously I move on to my bench now. We've got Areola, Decore, who's obviously red flagged now, who would have had Tottenham away. And we've got obviously Alvarez and Wissa. So Brentford and Man City do have a blank for Game Week 18, which unfortunately leaves no forward options for me left because I got 2 Man City and 1 Brentford, which means I am forced into making a forward transfer because I can't play, obviously, with no forwards in my team. So without further ado, now that my team has been obviously talked through, I'll obviously take a few of your comments before I move on to my transfer plans for Game Week 18. So there are some of you in the chat. So we've got a comment from Annie, says, "Evening, Jordan and all." Good evening, Annie. Hopefully you're having a nice afternoon or obviously evening if you're from obviously the Europe. Got another comment from Roman. Says, "Hi lad, me too. It really looks like I'm going to take a hit for a goalkeeper this week." Yeah, I mean the way our teams are, there's a lot of problems. I think a lot of different issues that we have in our individual teams. Like for me, for example, I've suffered with injuries, countless injuries for the last past 4 game weeks now. And it just feels very, very annoying, very unfortunate, and very unlucky. I will say I've been pretty lucky up to game week 14, and then suddenly it's just collapsed entirely since then. But hopefully our teams do get into better shape after this busy period of fixtures that we have in December. I've got another comment from James. It says, "Hi Jordan." Hello James, hope you're doing all right. Another comment from Alex. "Personally, I would just take a -4 and do Haaland, Decore to Watkins and Palmer." Yeah, I'm trying to avoid taking a -4 again for this week. I think I'll just do one transfer, and that'll be obviously taking out one of my forward options. Probably Haaland because he is the most expensive and allows me to pretty much get any forward option I want. I have thought about the -4, but because I've got Taylor there as well to cover, obviously for Decore, I'm not expecting a clean sheet from Taylor, which I would assume there wouldn't be one against Fulham away. I just think a -4. I don't know if a -4 is viable for my team, especially when I've got five at the back. I'm literally reliant on Salah, Mitoma, Saka, and Huang, and obviously my forward pick. So I think either way, I think a -4 would be more devastating to my team. I think than just taking a free transfer. But I kind of wish I had two free transfers up to this moment in time. But due to obvious problems previously in my game weeks, I'm only got one free transfer. We've got another comment from Roman. It says, with the plan to bring Haaland back in soon, I'm going to have to be careful with how much I spend on the keeper. It might be a case of all options one or two. Yeah, that's another thing we've got to consider if you have taken out Haaland as well, or when we plan to take out Haaland if you haven't already, is if you want him back, you've got to make sure you have the money to obviously bring him back into your team, as you might be a bit of a struggle to get him back in, might be a -4 potentially if you've only got one free transfer after you obviously taken Haaland out. And got another comment from Alex says, actually keep Haaland, and if you have enough, Wissa to Watkins and Decore to Palmer. I don't actually have enough to make that move, otherwise I would consider it. I only have 0.7 million bank, so either way, I need to take out Haaland. Wissa's not enough to take out, obviously, for Watkins. And yeah, that just leaves me with not enough money. Haaland's the only move really that I can really afford any forward that I'm going to obviously bring into my team. Yassine says, "What do you think about Diaby?" Well, yeah, Diaby is an interesting one because if I'm honest, I haven't really liked Diaby in the past few games. I've pretty preferred, obviously, his teammate who plays in that position rather than obviously Diaby, and that was Bailey, of course, because he seems to be playing much better than Diaby has in the last 4 game weeks. Because in game week 14, he only played 16 minutes, 15 only 5 minutes, only half 45 minutes against Arsenal in 16, and 64 minutes in Brentford. And from all those 4 games, obviously there's no returns for him. Obviously in game week 14, he didn't have an assist from coming on off the bench. But other than that, in the last 3 game weeks, he hasn't really got going, Diaby. I think I pretty much prefer Bailey, but it's a balancing act whether Bailey or Diaby play. But I don't think I'll be going to Diaby. I'd rather prefer Douglas Luiz, if I'm honest, if I was looking for obviously an Aston Villa player. Another comment from Alex, you've been trying to avoid a -4 past weeks when it would have returned the net again each time, just saying. Yeah, that's true. I've been trying to avoid a -4, but I did take one, I think 2 game weeks ago when I brought in obviously Decore and a defender, which I believe is Pedro Porro. And in a way, it slightly paid off because Pedro Porro got a return, but on the other hand, Decore got injured. It's a bit unfortunate because if he played on, who knows what would have happened. If he did score, it would have made up for the -4 I took. But because of Decore getting injured after half time and not coming back on the second half, it sort of hindered that -4 for me. And I mean, the way my team looks at the moment, I think this is the game week where I will avoid a -4 in absolute, entirely avoiding a -4 this week. My team is not good enough for a -4, in my opinion, especially when I'm playing 5 defenders this week and having no forwards at the moment. I've got another comment from James. Says, should I play Nkunku this game week? Well, yeah, Nkunku is literally, his flag has disappeared. And yeah, he got some. I don't know if I'll play. Well, if you have him, I would probably take a punt and play him anyway. Even if he doesn't start, I do expect him to play minutes for Chelsea. He is back from obviously being injured, unfortunately. So with the list of injuries that obviously Chelsea still have. Yeah, I'd like to play Nkunku. He's a massive differential, and Chelsea have a nice fixture as well. So I'll definitely be playing Nkunku if I had in this game week. There's way more upside in the -4 and playing Palmer, Richarlison, Slanking, Bowen, etc. Over Brantford, Taylor, and it also sets your team up better for future game weeks. And surely the worse your team is, the more reason to take a -4 to fix it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is true, Alex. That's very true. It does make sense. Take a -4 if your team is really bad, but the way mine is looking at the moment, I'm even considering taking a wild card when it actually comes to the point, because I've got numerous problems, and I feel like I'm gonna have numerous problems obviously in the next game week. I'm not expecting, obviously, I'm expecting another problem next game week, let's just say. And I think I'll be taking another -4 if those problems arise again. So I'm just trying to get through without taking any more hits. And obviously, when the wild card comes, I'm going to completely change my team. I'm not happy with the team at all, if I'm honest, up to this point. I was happy with it 4 game weeks ago, but because of injuries, suspensions, it has hindered me from going with my original plan, my original team. Because at the moment, this isn't the team I wanted to go with for game week 18. It was completely changed from obviously the reasons I mentioned, and it will take more than a -4 to fix this team, in my opinion. I mean, I've got Matoma. I don't want Matoma for Crystal Palace away. I don't even know if he's going to start or not, literally, because he's a rotation Rick as well. So even if I took a -4 and fixed the problems I currently have, I'm still going to have the issue of, obviously, Huang's on 4 yellows. If he gets another yellow, he's suspended for 19, potentially. Matoma, if he doesn't start, he probably get a 1-pointer, which, yeah, if I did bring in Palmer, yeah, it could bring in some more points for me for that -4. But yeah, I think I'm just going to try and get past with just taking a free transfer. Got a comment from Harry. Says, "Hey Jordan, would you take a -8 to get Porro and Richarlison for Diaby and Cash?" Well, Cash and Diaby, they have Sheffield United at home, and you want to bring in Porro and Richarlison for -8. I mean, that would be tricky. I don't know if I'll be pushed into doing it for a -8, Harry. I'll probably do it for -4. I think it's worth doing it for a -4, but for -8, I don't think I would go there. I mean, Cash, he obviously has Sheffield United at home. Bit of a minutes risk, as he hasn't played in full 90-minute football for a while, but I think I'll probably just bring in Richarlison in if you really wanted to go for a -4 for that and take out obviously Diaby. I'll probably do Richarlison, Diaby, and potentially bring in Porro next game week for a free transfer. Another comment from Roman says, which Joe would you say is better not making both the transfers this week? Just the goalkeeper for Roberto Sanchez or Leno and Brantford, or Dubravka and Udogi for future game weeks as for after Udogi's suspension? Right, let me just process that comment, Roman, for a second, because there's a lot to take in. Which say is better not making both transfers this week? Just the goalkeeper for. I mean, if you don't have a playing goalkeeper this week, I'll probably say it's better making that transfer as well as the obviously the other transfer you have planned as well. But if you do have a playing goalkeeper in step of Sanchez, then I would play that goalkeeper, whoever it is, just so you have a playing goalkeeper, whether it's a clean sheet or not. At least you're not taking obviously another transfer to take a goalkeeper out, because goalkeeper transfers, I'm not too keen on them unless you've got 2 that are completely out and 1 that's not playing in your team. But I think in terms of goalkeepers, I mean, Dubravka is good long term, and Udogi is good long term as well, after he's obviously suspended for this fixture. But I think Udogi and Dubravka are good long term picks, Roman. Got another comment from Barte. He says, I have Gordon, Isaac, and Haaland in my squad. Please help. I don't know if a -4 would be worth it. Yeah, because obviously Gordon, he picked up an injury from, I think it was obviously Colwell pushing Gordon, and obviously he got a yellow card for that as well in that game. Yeah, obviously they played yesterday, so it was the game where Newcastle and Chelsea played, and they played till penalties, and Chelsea won on penalties. And yeah, Gordon's flag, he is a risk of obviously not playing against Luton. There isn't much really news on Gordon. Only thing I know is he's going to be assessed ahead of the game, so just make sure if you have cover for obviously Gordon in place in case he doesn't play. Isaac, he has a groin injury which he missed the last game, obviously Chelsea and Newcastle. So yeah, him again is it's a 50-50 whether he's going to be ready. It's a groin injury, so I'm not too sure with that either. And obviously you got Haaland in the squad, so I'll probably keep Gordon if you have him, and just in case he doesn't play, just have someone there to back up if you do on your bench. Haaland obviously he's got a blank this week, but he's back for Game Week 19. If you can as well, I would say probably bench Haaland at this stage, because if it's not needed to obviously take Haaland, you might as well keep him. A -4, I mean, it depends who you bring in for the -4 to be worth it. If you feel like taking out Gordon for, let's say, Palmer, for example, is worth a -4, then I would do that, in my opinion. But I think it depends on who your other midfielder is, who covers for Gordon. Got another comment from Alex. Says, I'd rather take a -16 than use a wild card that early. Yeah, I wouldn't like to use my wild card that early, if I'm honest, myself. And I mean, in the long term run, I will plan the wild card very carefully, as I'm using it very early as well. I just need it for my team, because not only have I got suspensions and had injury worries and whatnot, I've got the worry of the Asia Cup and AFCON as well. And I'll be taking net minuses for a long period of time if I obviously keep the players I have at the moment. And I think a wild card is just a simple, yet unfortunate way of obviously reholding and resetting the team, because it's not in a great state, if I'm honest. It won't be in a great state from Game Week 21 onwards either. So yeah, we'll have to plan for a wild card, I think. Obviously, from a comment from Annie, says, I must admit, taking an early wildcard does sound profitable. I mean, yeah, I will definitely plan to long term plan this wildcard carefully, as I'm using it very early on. Then obviously plan, because a lot of other people will not be in this situation where they're using a wildcard straight away as soon as it comes. So yeah, I'm hoping it is profitable, and yeah, I will be picking my players very wisely when I obviously do activate it. We've got another comment from Lowell. Who should I start between Porro, Simicast, Lascelles, Gabriel, or Saliba? I'll definitely start Lascelles because he has Luton away. Pedro Porro, definitely. Everton at home. I'll start him. And between, obviously, Arsenal and Liverpool, obviously there's a clash. I'd probably start Simicast because it is at Anfield. And I do like when Liverpool play at Anfield. They're pretty good at Anfield, considering Man United drew to Liverpool 0-0 at Anfield. I still think against Arsenal, Simicast could potentially get an attack and return. He does show that sort of threat when it comes to matches. So I'll probably play Pedro Porro, Simicast, and Lascelles. I don't think I would be playing an Arsenal defender, even though that might be a bit obviously controversial. But I think I would favour Simicast, Lascelles, and Porro as the three defenders. And we've got a comment from Marjuk. Should I play Dubravka and Trippier both, or just Dubravka and Simicast instead of Trippier? I think I'll be very confident in playing both if I had Dubravka as well, because I do have Trippier in my team. But I think playing both isn't such a bad idea. I mean, it is Luton away. I know Luton play really good at home. They've shown that as well. So I wouldn't put it past them if there is no clean sheet for Newcastle. But on the other hand, I don't see one for Simicast either. And because Simicast and Trippier are attacking sort of like defenders, I feel like Trippier as well as a little bit more attacking threat than Simicast. And obviously Dubravka as a goalkeeper, I quite like playing him if I had him as well, over obviously Simicast. So yeah, I'll probably play Dubravka and Trippier if it was up to me, my Duke. I got another comment from Roman, says it's Roberto Sanchez and Areola. All right, so yeah, Areola is a bit of a risk because obviously his wrist injury, and he was seen obviously in the player stands last game week, even though he looked pretty fine to me. Yeah, actually, let me see if there's any update on Areola or any news whatsoever regarding him, because if I knew Areola was fine, I'd most probably want to play him instead of taking a transfer. But it wasn't really a serious injury. Put him out long term, so just bear with me for a moment. Okay, there's not really any news about Areola, but yeah, between Roberto Sanchez, obviously he's injured, and Areola, it's not sure whether he'll be back or not for obviously that fixture. I would probably make the transfer just to be safe, Roman, because I wouldn't want to go in 50-50 whether Areola is going to start or not. So yeah, I'd probably make the transfer, Roman, for the goalkeeper as well, just to be safe, and hopefully there is a clean sheet for that goalkeeper you bring in. Obviously, got another comment from Lowell. He says best captain for game week 18. Now, I think there's a little spoiled for choice for this captaincy this week because you've got Son, who's got Everton at home. You've got obviously Watkins, who has Sheffield United at home. So there are a few captain shouts out there to go different this week. It will be a bit spread, I think, in terms of captaincy. I've even seen some people captain Solanke as well. In terms of best captain this week, I'll probably say it's Son. He's got Everton at home. And even though Everton have played really well, I still think that when they play away, it's a bit tedious. It's only when Everton play at home, I feel like it's hard to obviously break them down, and they play really, really good at home. So I think Son, for me, is the best captain this game week 18. If I had him in my team, I'd probably be captaining Son. Even Salah could be a potential good captain this week against Arsenal at home. I mean, it is Anfield as well, but I think I would rate Son as the best captain this game week 18 with the fixture he has. Even though Watkins has Sheffield United at home, I still think Son. I think he would be my captain pick or best captain pick for game week 18. You got another comment from Hamza who says Hwang to Andreas and Gerhi to Konza. Thoughts for a hit, by the way. I'm chasing in my mini league, so want to take risk. Hwang to Andreas. That's an interesting one because I put Hwang as a hold in the transfer tips video. Even though he's on 4 yellow cards and he's facing Chelsea next at home, yeah, I'm a little bit unsure whether taking out Hwang is good or not, because Chelsea do concede, even though they didn't last game week, they do concede goals. And Wolves losing as well heavily to West Ham, I feel like they'll bounce back in that Chelsea fixture. But for Andreas, I mean, he is a differential 1.4%. And he has got a nice fixture as well, Burnley at home. You know what? I think it'd be worth doing the transfer to Hwang to Andreas. I mean, the way Fulham have played, especially in game week 16 and 15, where obviously Andreas got 21 points in combination of those 2 game weeks. It's quite annoying as well because I took him out prior to that. But yeah, I think I like the move. If you're chasing rank, I think that's a nice differential pick to go for, especially with the fixture. I'm quite happy with that transfer. I think it's a safe one as well because Hwang's on 4 yellows. Gerhi de Konza as well. Crystal Palace. I'm not even going to recommend a Crystal Palace defender because they're struggling at the moment. And obviously, you want to bring Konza in for Aston Villa. I mean, yeah, another nice differential. They have Sheffield United at home as well. I feel like there's a nice clean sheet in there too. I think it will pay off that -4. I quite like the sound of it as well. So yeah, I think if you're chasing and it's for a hit, I think those two transfers can make up for the hit. Got another comment from, I hope I say this right, Unun Pentium. Gordon bench or Isaac? I would probably put, it's a hard one to call this one because the injuries for Newcastle are stacking up, and Eddie Howe's in a bit of a pickle for this. I would probably bench. I don't want to bench either one because I'm not entirely sure which one he's going to play or not. Because Isaac's obviously from groin injury. He didn't start or was in the team for the Chelsea fixture because of that. I think I'll probably bench Gordon and play Isaac. But again, I'd probably play both, and hopefully you have decent bench replacements for them too. But just in the case if either one of them does start, I think I'd rather have them on the plane, the starting 11, rather than benching them and then they end up playing anyway. So yeah, if you've got bench cover, make sure you have Gordon Isaac in your starting 11. Hopefully, if one of them doesn't play, you have a player to come on for in place of them too. I've got a comment from Neil. He says, taking a -4 this week. Palmer and Watkins in. Good luck this week, guys. A bit busy with work, so I can't stop. Yeah, good luck, Neil. Nice moves for the -4. Palmer and Watkins in is a good long-term good investment as well. So hopefully that -4 obviously ends up well for you at the end of the game week. We got another comment from SJ. Says, good evening, Jordan. Good evening, SJ. Hope you're doing well. Another comment from Neil says, Martin and Haaland out. Good luck. Yeah, that's good news for the players you've taken out because obviously Haaland has a blank. I'm assuming you want to bring him back in for game week 19. And obviously Martinelli has Liverpool away. So yeah, two good moves for players there. I've got another comment from Dan the Man. Haven't seen much of the team news. Just finished work and made some quick transfers. Yeah, there isn't really much team news. It's very cryptic, I think, in terms of team news this game week. So yeah, it's the midweek fixtures really have turned the team news upside down a bit in terms of injury, like Newcastle's assets as well, like Isak and Gordon being one of the two, which are knife edge in terms of whether they're going to start or not for game week 19 fixture. Down the man, another comment. I need to know which three to start: Cash, Lascelles, Gabriel, Luis Diaz, and Darwin. Well, Darwin did play and did start in Liverpool's game where they won 5-1 against West Ham last night. So I'd be very surprised if Darwin starts again against Arsenal. But if I had to pick three to start, I'd probably pick Lascelles definitely because he has Luton away, and it's a hard one to tell because Luis Diaz and Darwin. See, Huss would have more. Obviously, he's a Liverpool fan, so he'd have more confidence and belief in whether Luis Diaz and Darwin will start. I know Darwin because he played obviously in that West Ham fixture. He may not start in this Arsenal one, so he could be benched. With Luis Diaz, I'll probably play Luis Diaz, Lascelles, and Cash, I think. Because if I'm playing either one, Luis Diaz or Darwin, I probably won't play Gabriel. So, yeah, I'll probably play Cash, Lascelles, and Luis Diaz. I got another comment from Roman. It says, scrap my earlier comment. I made it up to be complicated to simplify it for the next 5 game weeks. Oh, right. No worries, Dan, about that. Leno and Brantford or Dubravka and Udogie. I think Dubravka and Udogie are nice long-term picks. Even though I like Leno, I got him as my goalkeeper. I still think Dubravka and Udogie are very good picks with the fixtures Spurs and Newcastle have upcoming. I think long term for the next 5 game weeks that will work out very nicely, hopefully. Roman. Got another comment from Edika FC who says, should I bring in Archer for Mateta or roll the transfer? Yeah, because Crystal Palace, they're labelled with injuries as well, which have hampered them from really getting going this season. I mean, Mateta is a huge differential as well, which I like. I do like a differential going forward. Mateta, he did get a 12-pointer against Man City, which at the same time obviously scored that penalty against Man City in the last stages of that game, which ended up in a draw. So Mateta currently, yeah, he's on penalties, which is nice. 1.1% ownership differential. And he has Brighton, which, by the way, Brighton still haven't get the clean sheet either. So, yeah, I think bringing in Mateta could be a nice pick to go for. I don't really like Archer as an asset here on the bench as well. So I wouldn't like to play him. But either that or roll the transfer. I mean, it does depend on the rest of your team. I think if your team is looking good, you could potentially roll the transfer. But I think if it was me in my situation, I think I would bring in Mateta. I think if there's anyone for Crystal Palace, and I'm expecting Crystal Palace to score because Brighton still haven't kept a clean sheet this season, and every team has scored against Crystal Palace. It all looks good, I think, for Mateta. So, especially on penalties on top of that, I think I would be tempted to bring in Mateta, and obviously instead of rolling the transfer. Obviously got other comments coming in. Try and read these out as quick as I can. Got another comment from Ibs. It says Wilson for Alvarez, free transfer. My front three is Solanke and Watkins. With Wilson, obviously he did play against Chelsea, so I assume I wouldn't expect him to start in the Luton fixture, but that all depends on if Isak is fit enough to start. Because if Isak wasn't injured for like groin injury, I would expect Eddie Howe to play him instead of Wilson because Wilson did start in that Chelsea fixture, and as Eddie Howe likes to do, he likes to rotate Wilson and Isak around depending on who plays in which obviously order. So it is for free transfer, but I think I would roll. If I'm honest, I think your front two is fine. I think Alvarez obviously has a blank, but I'll be happy to play Solanke Watkins up front and potentially bench Alvarez because Alvarez has nice fixtures after the blank in game week 18. So as an Alvarez owner, I'm reluctant to get rid of him now because he has Everton after the blank in 19, followed by Sheffield United at home in 20. So I think I'd keep Alvarez and play Solanke and Watkins up front and roll the transfer if it was me. Comment from Andy. Don't forget your transfer, Jordan, if you're doing one. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on the time. Obviously, I don't want to leave it too late like I did last stream to make the transfer. I've got it in my head already, the plans of my transfer. So I will make it very soon for you guys so that is out the way. I'll just read a few of your comments and obviously I'll move on to my transfer plans very shortly. I got a comment from Tendai. Says, yes, Jordan, my man, you're on the night shift on your own today. Thank you. I've taken out Darwin for Watkins and now thinking Decore for -4 to either Iwobi or Richarlison thoughts. Already have Son and Porro. So yeah, nice to see you, Tendai, of course, in the chat. Yeah, Darwin for Watkins is a good move, I think. I don't think Darwin will start in obviously the Arsenal fixture, and because it's Arsenal as well, and Darwin being a frustrating asset for those who have owned him, having a lot of chances but not able to score them, has sort of pushed a lot of you into taking him out, which obviously that makes sense. And obviously Husty put him as a sell for the transfer tips video. But yeah, for the rest of your comment, Decore for -4. It is unfortunate for Decore to obviously pick up a hamstring. To either Iwobi or Richarlison, I think I'd probably do it for Richarlison. I think I'd like to bring Richarlison as early as I possibly can, just to get his points that he's expected to obviously return. Because if you haven't already got him for the 3 goals he scored in the last 2 game weeks and missed out on those points, I think I'd be a bit more gutted if I was to bring him in a bit later on after he's had many more returns. So yeah, I think I would take the -4 for the Corey to Richarlison for your team, especially when you have Son and Pro already. I think the triple up for Spurs isn't really overkill. I think having Son, Richarlison is a good combination because a lot of us had Maddison and Son at some point as well. So I think that's a good gap to fill in for that triple up in Spurs because they are looking really good at the moment, Spurs. And yeah, I think I'd be doing that -4 move. I think it'll pay off. There's another comment from Dan. He says, doing good job flying solo today, Jordan. Yeah, I am flying solo again today. But yeah, Haas will be back for the next stream. So no need to worry about obviously these streams becoming like obviously just me. It is a busy period of fixtures and streams. So yeah, we try our best to have one of us available for our upcoming streams. Got another comment from Hakon. He says, hi Jordan, I have Nunes and feel like he's getting benched. Should I start McNeil against Spurs? McNeil is pretty underrated. Yeah, I feel like he's going to be benched as well, Nunes, for this week. I'd be very surprised if he does play against Arsenal home, especially when he started in that Liverpool and West Ham game. Should I start McNeil against Spurs? I mean, I don't expect a clean sheet for Everton either. And I know McNeil has been pretty good, I must say, as an asset if you've had him. From the moment of, let me just check his profile. But yeah, he used to get 1 assist against Burnley, and he scored that massive 14-pointer against Newcastle, where he scored the goal, got the assist. And yeah, he's had quite a few returns, McNeil. I feel like he is pretty underrated. 2 goals and 3 assists so far this season. For midfielder, not too bad. 0.5% though ownership. I think because he's a differential, and especially if you've got his points from obviously those goals and assists he's had in the last few weeks, it could potentially be a nice differential asset to go forward with. And yeah, I think he's a bit underlooked, McNeil. I think some Everton assets were underlooked. I think prior to obviously seeing them bouncing back from that 10-point reduction that they had. So yeah, I think McNeil is a pretty good asset to start against Spurs. And Dan says, thank you for the input. Appreciate it. You're welcome, Dan, anytime. Got another comment from Bartey. Says, my planned free transfer is Watkins for Haaland. My bench cover for Isak, Gordon, and Gabriel are Semenyo. Should I go no Watkins and bring in Richarlison for Gordon? I already have Palmer. Okay, so your plan for transfer is Watkins to Haaland, which, yeah, that is a nice transfer. Makes sense. And your bench cover for Isak, Gordon are Gabriel, Semenyo. Yeah, Gabriel obviously has Liverpool, so I don't expect a clean sheet from there. Maybe anything I can see from an attack and return is a header. A lot of corners come from Arsenal, but I still wouldn't go there. And Semenyo, obviously Bournemouth player. Yeah, a bit of a pickle. I just want to check out Semenyo as well. I mean, yeah, his minutes are variable. I wouldn't go there. Even though it's not on Forest, I still wouldn't go for the bench cover. In that sense, I would probably do. Yeah, I'd probably bring in. I don't know what can bring in Richarlison for Gordon. Yeah, because it's not sure whether Gordon's going to start or not. I think I would bring in Richarlison for Gordon just to be safe. I know Richarlison's going to start as well, which on the other hand, Gordon is a 50-50 whether he will or not. So yeah, I think if I was to play it, I'd probably play it safe and go to Watkins and bring in Richarlison for Gordon. You already have Palmer, so that's quite a nice comfortable blanket to rest on as well. Who is the best Gordon replacement? I would probably say best Gordon replacement would be, I'd probably say Richarlison, if I'm honest. I think Richarlison is a good asset bringer forward, especially after, obviously, when the Asia Cup happens in Game Week 21. Son will go to the Asia Cup, so he won't be available Game Week 21 onwards. So I think in the long term run, I think Richarlison is a good replacement in terms of Spurs assets. While Son is in the Asia Cup, and I wouldn't mind bringing him in now. Obviously, Richarlison for Gordon, as he is a decent replacement, I think. I got another comment from Shaquille. It says Gordon will start, just even that. Yeah, I mean, he could start. There's not really solid news on whether he will or not, but we'll have to see. Obviously, when Newcastle play. And you're followed by best replacement is probably Douglas Luiz. Yeah, I like Douglas Luiz. He was my buy for the transfer tips as a differential to go forward. I think with Douglas Luiz, he is a hot and cold player. He does score massively when he does get a return, and he does blank a few games in a row. But I like he's on penalties and his fixture against Sheffield United at home. I know Aston Villa will press heavily in that game, which means more involvement from players like Douglas Luiz. So yeah, I think for 1 week punt, I think I'll probably have a replacement for bring in someone in place for Douglas Luiz. And I got no comment from Dan. It says I currently bench the Sales as I have Trippier and Luton have scored 7 of their last 8 games. Yeah, it is a bit tedious because it is a good fixture, but we can't forget Luton at home. You can't underestimate. Obviously, how they play at home is really good. So yeah, that makes sense, Dan. Not committing double Newcastle is maybe be preferred for some, considering the fixture as well, because Luton could potentially get one behind Newcastle. So yeah, I think playing it safe there is a good move. Shakira turn 2 corners and gets the odd goal now and then. Yeah, absolutely agree with Douglas Luiz there. He does get the odd goal now and then, and it is sometimes a big call for him as well. Got another comment from Oliver. It says, what 3 defenders is best to play out of this? Gabriel, Saliba, Konza, Taylor, and Branthwaite. Definitely Taylor. Definitely not Taylor and Branthwaite. I have them on my team, and I'm forced to play both, which I preferred. Probably would have preferred not to. But again, it's not really a good mix of defenders to play this week, unfortunately, because Gabriel and Saliba have Arsenal at home, and I don't expect a clean sheet there. Cons are definitely, I'll say, without question, you get Sheffield United at home. In terms of the rest of the defenders, I'd probably just play, if I had to pick the best play out of those 5, I'll probably say Gabriel, Konza, and Branthwaite. That's the best, I think, in my opinion, you'll get from out of those 5. You got another comment from Elika. He says, I do have double Villa defense and have to start Archer, so I'll probably go ahead with Mateta. Yeah, that makes sense. Double Villa defense with Sheffield United at home. I think that's a good fixture to play double defense in for obviously that team, because Aston Villa have looked good and are high up in the top 5 and potentially title contenders as well, the way the Emery has turned it around. And yeah, starting Archer, I don't expect Archer to score, especially when you're playing double Villa defense. It doesn't make sense, obviously, starting Archer. So yeah, I'll probably go ahead with that move to Mateta. And you say good luck to you and everyone else. Thank you, mate. Good luck to you as well for this game. Hopefully you get a green arrow. And got another comment from Shaquille. Says Alvarez probably going to kick back into form again soon. Yeah, he's had a bit of a dry spell. Alvarez, a bit unfortunate, I think, in some stages. He has had half chances to score, but yeah, he has picked up assists here and there, but his last goal that he did score was in game week 19. Game week 9 against Brighton. So that was when he last scored. Since then, he has had 3 assists, which doesn't seem that great in terms of obviously his form, but yeah, I'm hoping his form does pick up very shortly. Now, before I take any more comments, guys, I will do my transfer plans before the deadline ends, because there is 15 minutes to go, and I probably will have to make these transfers very shortly. So yeah, I will go ahead and show you what my transfer plans are, and once I've done that, I'll read the rest of your comments in the chat. So yeah, the transfer plans here is obviously my window to show you my team for the transfer plans. So I am deciding to obviously I've got to take out a forward, either Whistler, Alvarez, or Haaland, because none of them are going to start. I am going to take out Haaland out of my team, and to replace Haaland, I'm going to bring in. It's probably obvious. I'm going to bring in Ollie Watkins for 1 free transfer, and then obviously that does leave me with 5.9 million in the bank. Pretty important because I want to bring Haaland back in Gameweek 19, so I will have to take out Watkins, even though I'm bringing him in this week. But there is a reason why I'm bringing in Watkins for 1 week. So I am planning to captain Watkins this week because I don't really have a nice captain to go for in my team, if I'm honest. So Watkins will be my captain. I might as well make the transfer moves now because I'm pretty dead certain on those transfer moves. So Haaland out and Watkins in for 1 free transfer, and I'll just confirm that. And I'll move over to the other window where I'll show you my updated squad. So yeah, we've got Watkins up front. I'll just put the captaincy over him, and I'll just put the vice on. I'll just put it on Leno. Why not? I don't expect Watkins not to start, so I know vice captain is also important, but I think Leno, I can see a clean sheet there. So in case of Watkins not appearing at all, Leno is the vice captain, which is a little bit different for a goalkeeper, I guess. But yeah, that is the team I believe locked in. I don't think I'll be doing any more moves on it. I think that should be enough to get me through to the next week, and hopefully next week is no damage limitations at all. But I do have a starting 11 at least this week because I had a starting 10 last week and it didn't go down too well. But let's hope there is a few clean sheets there for the back five and a couple of attacking returns for the midfield four, and obviously Watkins to get a goal to in the Sheffield United home fixture. And so yeah, I'll move on to obviously your comments in the chat again, answer as many as I can before the deadline is over. Obviously, what comment from Sheffield says City needs to step up. Yeah, they haven't won a game. It feels like a long time though. No wins in 6 games now for them, and yeah, they need to get back on the winning streak if they want to keep in title race. I got a comment from Tendai says, "Thanks, my man. Great stream, buddy. Thank you, Tendai. That's very appreciated." Obviously, I don't stream. I haven't streamed that many of these streams on my own. I think this is my 2nd time, so hopefully, I'm doing you guys all right in terms of answering your questions as best I can. Got another comment from Shekels. Why would he get benched? He's clearly better than Gakpo. It's just what Klopp does. He just likes to bench players and rest them because of the fixtures. It's very close to fixtures as well in between each other. So it kind of makes sense that if players are playing in that fixture and if you've got cover for those players, then you'd probably want to obviously play the ones that were rested so they're fit and ready for the upcoming fixtures. But there's no telling whether Darwin will start or not. I mean, even if Darwin starts, I wouldn't be confident in playing Darwin, if I'm honest, as well, because he does get the chances, but it's come to a point where he's not finishing his chances, and it's becoming very frustrating for players, for people who have Darwin in their team. And you got a comment: is Jota ready to come back? See, with Jota again, well, he has lack of match fitness and has a 25% chance of playing, apparently, on FPL. So, no, I don't think he'll be ready to come back in that Arsenal game. He may play some minutes, but I think because of lack of match fitness from that hamstring injury, I don't think he'll be ready yet, but he should be ready soon, hopefully. Got another comment from James. Jordan, is Matty Cash one of the best defensive options this game week as he started in midfield last game week? Yeah, Matty Cash, yeah, he has played that new role of being more of an attacking player in that midfield, but I mean, he hasn't really played that many minutes recent game weeks. So I would be worried of his minutes as well. Whether I play him, whether he's the best, I wouldn't say. Well, I mean, the fixture's nice for. I would prefer Konza if I'm honest. Even though Matty Cash has started in midfield like last game week, I still would prefer a player that's going to play 90 minutes. Because with Matty Cash, there's no telling how many minutes he'll play. If you look at his fixtures, I mean, he played 64 in game week 17. That's a bit of a tightrope because obviously you have to play at least 60 minutes to get that clean sheet confirmed. Before that, he played 24 and obviously he was suspended in game week 15 and played. Yeah, his minutes, I'm not too sure with Matty Cash, if I'm honest. I'll be more confident in playing Konza instead this game. Even though Matty Cash has shown a bit more attacking threat in that midfield, I still would go safe. Like with your next comment, place, or is it safer to play in Zinchenko or Simicast instead? I'd probably say I'll probably yes. Yeah, I'll probably say safer to play in Simicast instead. If I had to pick, I think I would play Simicast instead of Matty Cash, just in case he doesn't play enough minutes in that fixture. But I mean, if you think Matty Cash will play at least 60 minutes, then I would suggest playing him. But if not, I'll probably play Simicast instead. You got no comment from Roman. Says, would you play Gurhi, Gabriel, or Mikalenko? Oh, that's a tough one. Yeah, I'll probably gamble with Gurhi as Crystal Palace, I think. Just because I know Crystal Palace are not in the greatest state at the moment, but neither is Brighton, with no clean sheets for them this season, which is not looking great for them, obviously. I think, out of those picks, Gabriel has Liverpool. I don't expect a clean sheet. Might be lucky with an attack and return, but that's very, very lucky. Mikalenko, I'm not sure with him either against Tottenham away. Yeah, I'll probably play Gurr. He has the best fixture out of those three, Roman. Obviously, got a comment from Ian who says Gordon for Ward-Prowse. Yeah, Ward-Prowse is an interesting one. He's all on the set pieces. He's I think one of the best free kick takers I've seen. In terms of Ward-Prowse, he is 8.8% owned, so he's a good differential. And he has Man United though next, which I don't know if I'll go with Ward-Prowse as an option. I'd probably prefer Kudus or Bowen. I think if you can stretch money to either one of those two, I'd probably go there. But Kudus does have AFCON as well, so I'll probably go for Bowen if I had to go for Gordon for Bowen instead of Ward-Prowse. Now you got another comment from Dan. This is going to update the community team. Yeah, I will get that up very shortly, Dan, and update that once I've gone through a few more comments. I know I've got not much time, but I will just answer these last four and get the community draft up. John T, play Gusto, Saliba. I'll probably play Saliba. Now Dan says, unlucky with the Corey, man. That sucks. Yeah, it's been a bit of a running streak of unlucky things happening to my team in the last 4 game weeks. Got another point from James. Jordan, isn't Watkins a long-term option? You'll regret it if you transfer him out straight after this game week. Well, I mean, with Watkins, he does have, even though Aston Villa are playing really well this season, he does have Man United away 19, which I know it's not a red. That could easily be a green or a grey for the way Aston Villa are and the way Man United are. Yeah, I do plan on bringing Watkins into my wildcard team in 19. Obviously, when that comes along the corner, so I probably will have him anyway. Even when I transfer him out, obviously after this game week, but we'll see. I think. Got another point from Chief. Do your transfer, Jordan? It's already done, Chief. I did Haaland to Watkins for 1 free transfer, so that is all locked in. I'll just double check I've saved that. Yeah, I definitely saved it. So yeah, the team is locked in, Chief, on the screen. So I have made my transfer moves. Got another point. James, is community team the Discord server? No, the Discord is basically where, obviously, if you want to chat to us elsewhere on other social media, Discord is obviously what we suggest. So yeah, our Discord is in the description below or in the overlay at the top. If you would like to obviously chat to us or send your team or etc., anything you like, just join that Discord. And speaking of the community team, I will get that up for you guys before obviously the deadline ends. Apologies if I've left it a bit late, but it was an hour really goes quickly. But yeah, we'll just get that up for you guys. I'm hoping I can log into it this time because I've had troubles logging into the community draft in the past 2 weeks. Yeah, hopefully you guys have locked in your teams and are ready for obviously Game Week 18. Hopefully it should be a good one for a lot of us. Yeah, I'm still having troubles getting into the deadline. Deadline. Getting into the community draft. There seems to be issues with logging in. Yeah, unfortunately, guys, I cannot get in to the community drafts. I will have to obviously look at what I could do about that. Obviously, for this week, so I do apologize for those who would like to have seen the community drafting. Obviously, want to plan the moves for it. I will have to sort out that issue, and obviously, next deadline stream it should be addressed, and you should be able to obviously see the community draft. But for now, I'm unable to actually get into the actual account for some reason. I will keep trying until the deadline is over, but I'm just not sure why it's not letting me in. Yeah, it's still not letting me in. Yeah, apologies for that, guys. But yeah, the deadline is almost over. It's 2 minutes to go. So obviously, hopefully, you made your plans and pick your captain and all that good stuff. But yeah, that is my team locked in on the screen, as you can see. So I'll just go through it once more. So we've got Leno in goal. We've got back five of Simicast, Pedro, Oro, Trippier, Brantford, and Taylor. And the midfield four, Salah, Mitoma, Saka, and Huang. And up front, we've got Watkins as the sole forward. And obviously, there's no bench options apart from Areola, who has Man United at home. But other than that, Decore, Alvarez, and Wissa are all out for Game Week 18. So, yes, that is the team going forward. Let's take a quick comment from Harry. Start Diaby or Jesus? I'll probably start Jesus. I have more faith, I think, in even the Diaby SF United at home. I feel like Jesus can still cause a bit of trouble, bit upset at Anfield potentially. I think I'll be going Jesus. And yeah, thank you guys. Obviously, thank you from Roman, James, and Dan as well. That's always appreciated from your nice comments in the chat. But yeah, a few seconds left before the deadline is over. But it has been a very quick stream. I haven't realized how quick it really goes until obviously you stream solo. So yeah, it has felt like only 10 minutes being on the stream. It's gone really fast as well. But yeah, the deadline is up. It is 6:30, so the teams are now locked in. You won't be able to do any more moves. So I think I'll end the stream there, guys. Usually we do our score predictions, but I think in the absence of Huss not being here, we'll do that next time when Huss is back in the deadline stream next stream. But yeah, it was a nice stream, guys. Thank you all for watching throughout. It's always appreciated. Make sure you give this video a like if you haven't already, and leave a comment if you wish. And yeah, subscribe if you're new to the channel as well, and turn on your notifications so you can be notified of when obviously we stream next. But yeah, until then, guys, take care. Have a nice weekend as well. Hopefully you all have a green arrow too. And yeah, take care. See you soon, and have a nice weekend.